Hi everybody, it's T. Now, I know I haven't done a video in a while, but if you've kept up with me on Facebook, you know that I have been really sick. You'll have to forgive my voice because it is still a little hoarse, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video out the way. Also, I wanted everybody to know that my psychic development MP3s are going up this weekend. So I had a lot of people say, oh, I didn't see where you weren't offering them in person no more, and asking, can you please just make an exception? I keep saying no, I can't do that, because I told everybody for the longest that I was ending them and it was just going to be MP3s, and I was like, oh my goodness. Okay, so before I put up the MP3s, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer my classes at 50% off, and 50% off of a sale price. Normally they're $800 and I marked them down to $650, and now it's half of that. So you only get that until, well, as soon as they fill up. I've got room for like maybe 2 more people, maybe 3. So if you want it, you have to jump on it. Otherwise, you'll have to download my MP3s, but you'll always have an available option to get like a 15-minute consultation with me if you want. But you won't get that one-on-one on the phone for an hour talking and discussing and answering questions. You won't get that anymore. You'll just get the MP3s and maybe a consultation if you pay extra for one. So if you were thinking about taking my classes, now is probably the time to jump on that, because I'm not going to do it after this. I already reopened it saying I would never do it again. And this time I am definitely not going to do it again. I've just got so much going on with the TV show and the radio shows, and I am just so slammed I can't even see straight. So I won't be able to do it after this. So hopefully you guys will take advantage and go ahead and get that. And truth be told, I do miss kind of doing them in person because I like talking to people and listening to their concerns and trying to help them out. So yeah, I hope a couple of you take advantage of that. Okay, moving on. So today's topic I wanted to talk about was toxic people. Wow, I think this whole past year in 2015 has been the hardest year for me, and I've said that before. And I think a lot of the reason is because I feel like I've had to let go of a lot of people in my life. And I know I talked about the whole friend I had before that did me wrong, and I did other videos on that, so I will not talk about that today. But I do want to talk about toxic people and how do you get them out of your life. I mean, the problem with most spiritual beings is that they're very compassionate and humanitarian, and they don't like to hurt people's feelings. So they kind of get stepped on a lot. And I'm not talking about star beings, but I am talking about like human beings and spiritual beings. And they do kind of get stepped on like a lot because of their strong humanitarian, compassionate nature. So what do you do to get these people out of your life without just being a total bear and roaring at them? Well, I have to say, going back to 2015, I had a lot of people that I needed to get out of my life, but I was still in this mode where I was still wanting to help people and still wanting to do for other people, and I was still kind of putting myself on a back shelf last year, even though I preached and preached about self-love, don't do it. But self-love is a hard lesson to learn. Anybody that has not been through the whole self-love thing, let me tell you, that is a hard lesson to learn. So if this is something that you're just now starting to do, which is take on the job of the whole I need to self-love myself because you haven't accomplished that yet, be ready for a long bumpy ride, but totally worth it in the end. Totally worth it, because your life becomes calmer, you become less chaotic, less maniacic, if that's a word. Is that a word, maniacic? I don't know. I just made up a word. It's my word now. So I just, I don't know. But your life becomes so much better when you start to put these toxic people out of your life. Again, think about all the spiritual work you want to do. Think about everything that you want to accomplish. Think about everything that you're trying to put out there to other people to help them on their journey and their path. You can't do that if you're not okay. So basically, you're teaching these people to do something you haven't done yet. And we always want to teach people to live in their own perception of their own spirituality. So I don't want you to live in my perception. I definitely don't want to live in your perception, but you can't live in your perception if you're not being honest with yourself. So let's look at it like this. Okay, so say that Mary or Catherine, I'm trying to make sure I don't have no friends with those names. Anyway, I'm just digging a name. I'm not referring this to anybody. But say they come out and they're like, oh, girl, I've been having a rough day. Now say you do psychic readings on the side. Okay, let's put this out there. Say you do maybe some tarot readings, some psychic readings, and say you do that. But you got these friends that always come to you and say, oh no, girl, what you think I should do? Now, what they're looking for is a psychic answer. They don't want to hear your opinion. They're looking for a psychic answer is what they're doing. They're looking for that free psychic answer because they're your friend. So I call it a fine line. Before, I would just talk and answer and not care and not say anything and answer all the questions they asked me because I thought, well, it's my friend. I have to do that. But then I would think back and go, man, they don't really do that for me. Sometimes I have problems and I might send them a message. I may not hear back, or something, but yet, I'm always there. So there has to be this fine line between what you'll do for free and what you won't, even for friends and family, And if you piss somebody off, guess what? You have to start thinking that maybe your spiritual work and your abilities is why they were your friend. Hanging on your coattails, leeching on to you, trying to whatever, be there until, I posted this thing a long time ago with Will Smith about if you're not there during my success or during my, if you're not there during my struggle, don't expect to be present during my success. You really have to live by that. You really do, because you work very hard to be who you are and to get to where you are. So you can't allow people without the best, what do I want to say? I can't say have your best interest, because nobody's going to have truly your best interest at heart. Everybody's going to pretty much have their own best interest at heart, but isn't there for the better good of you and your path. So we'll put it like that. So these people we have to get rid of. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, you've got to kind of just decide that there doesn't have to be a reason. Like sometimes we're like, oh, we'll start an argument, or we'll wait till there's an argument. We'll wait till they piss us off, and that's our excuse to block them or not talk to them anymore. And you're not really helping things, because eventually that person's going to feel bad remembering how good they had it, and they're going to come back. Same with guys. You know how we have these guy friends and we're like, gosh, or girlfriends, and we're like, gosh, I just wish that they would make me mad so I can break up and it'd be their fault, but I'm the better person, but shame on them, and I'm going to block them, and now I know that I'm the better person type thing. It's the same thing we do with friendships. We try to make an excuse to end that friendship, and we always try to put it off on that person. But what you really have to do is you have to be honest with yourself and keep that positive honesty, standing in your truth thing going by just simply saying, look, I don't feel like we create balance with each other. I feel like I give, but I really don't receive. And I'm sure you're a nice person, but I feel like you take advantage of me. So either we need to sit down and really have a deep talk about what's really going on, or I'm going to have to move forward. And thank you for the friendship we had, but I'm going to move forward now. We have to do something like that. It can't always be about the other person's fault. I cannot tell you how many women want me to help them catch their cheating husbands. And they're like, if I just had proof, T, girl, if I just had proof. And I think to myself, why do you need proof? The fact that you are unhappy and you intuitively think he's already doing it is enough for me, girl. Look, girl, if I am sitting down on my bed watching Pioneer Woman Food Network, and out of nowhere I have this thought that he's with somebody else, girl, that's all I need. Because why out of nowhere, watching Food Network, Pioneer Woman, would I start thinking about that? And then all of a sudden I call him, see where he's at, he went act funny. You already know I'm packing this shit. It's on the front porch. I'm not even worried about it. I don't need to see proof. I don't need to catch him in the act. It's just a done deal. Now, why would I do that? Why would I do that? Like if we have kids, or why would I do that? Because if you are going through like a relationship and he's cheating, your life is chaotic. You're not thinking about you. You're thinking about him. You're not thinking about your job, your life, the kids, and what you guys can do together. You're thinking about him and what he's doing and how he's screwing up and how he's making your life an emotional wreck. And that's what you're thinking about. So how can you live a healthy, happy life if that's what you're living every single day? It's emotional chaos, and I won't have no part of it. I did that for years and years and years, and I will never do it again. Never. I think the hardest thing about being a psychic and being a remote viewer is that you can see when somebody hurts you, and you have a problem bringing that up because here we go again. You want to make it work. You love that person, but really and truly, there has to be balance. If they loved you the same way you loved them, they wouldn't be doing it. So you need to move on. So this is with friends and family too. So I'm not talking about just boyfriends and girlfriends. I'm talking about friends and family. I'm talking about mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers. I can't tell you how many family members I've let go of. See, I live in the Bible Belt. I live in the Bible Belt, girl. If I look out my window, out these windows here in my attic, in my office, and I'm going to try to show y'all a little bit around. It's like a 360 thing here, but my office is like a 360. It like goes in like, this whole circle. Okay. And all these are windows. If I look out my window right now, I can count 11 church steeples. From this window to that window, I can count 11 church steeples. So I come from the Bible Belt. So what I do is not considered proper. This is not proper. Psychics here are like devil worshippers, I guess. I don't know what they think we do. I don't know, but that's not what we do, but that's what they think. So living in the Bible Belt and having family members is probably why it took me so long to come out the psychic closet, which took me till 2009. I could have did it before. Here's the thing. Let's talk about this real quick. I could have done it before 2009, but I let what other people would think of me keep me from doing what I wanted to do. Now, they wasn't paying my bills. They wasn't raising my kids. They wasn't working my job. They wasn't doing nothing. But I was so worried about what they thought that I didn't do any of this because I didn't want to look like a freak, because of where I lived, because of who was around me. When I finally said this is not working for me, I was a lawyer, family law attorney. That's what I did. When I finally decided that this wasn't working for me and that I was going to jump out that psychic closet and I was going to do this work and this is what I was going to do, I probably lost 10, 11 family members. Now, quickly ask me if I care. Ask me right now if I care. Did my bills change? No. Did my kids change? No. Did my priorities change? No. Did anything change that was so severe that I'm not okay? No. So I have to kick my own butt for waiting so long to do this because of what somebody else would think of me. So learning that and getting past that was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done. So then what happened, I thought, okay, I'm free of all the crazy people. I'm free of all the Bible Belt people. I'm free of everybody that is not going to approve of what I do. So I can just get on here and be me, right? Nope. What happens? You get people coming in, taking advantage. You got fake it's till you make it's coming in, trying to leech on your coattails. You got all this stuff that happens every single day. People want this, people want that. They'll be your friend, but they always want this from you. So this is what I go through now. So what I learned in the past year, and I probably did it the year before that, is I've learned to like myself and be by myself. So I always laugh and say that I'm a hermit. I don't really go anywhere. And that's true. I really don't go anywhere. Why? Well, for what? You know, if I want to go to the movies, I just go to the movies. If I don't have a date, I'll grab somebody, you know, or something like that. You know, I just basically hang out with my kids, watch movies, make popcorn, you know, work on my websites. You know, that's what I do. I am basically a hermit, but I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happier being like this than I was absorbing everybody's crap. True story. I would rather sit here by myself, working on all my stuff by myself, than sitting here and having to deal with all that. True story. So, in my other videos, when I talk about walking the spiritual path is a lonely path, I wasn't joking. It can be a very lonely path because when you finally wake up, and everybody acts like they don't know what the word wake up means. Everybody's like, oh, I'm spiritually awake. No, you're not. If you have not decided what's best for you in your life and you have took measures to change that, then you have not woke up. You are still living in the perception of other people. You are still living in the perception of what other people think you should be and do. You have not woke up. When you wake up, you will find that everyone around you has a different agenda. And then not everybody's your friend. You could say hugs and kisses and hey girl, see you tomorrow all you want. That don't make them your friend. A friend is somebody that knew you when you struggled down here and they're still with you when you up here. That's a friend. And I probably can count on one hand my friends, my true friends. I could count on one hand. And I know that everybody on Facebook knows who two of them are. I know y'all know who two of them are for sure. But that's it, you know? And I'm happy with that. You know, these two people, I can come out and say anything I want to. And they got me. They got me. They ain't worried about no judgment, no prejudice. They got me, you know? And those are my two best friends. And I know y'all know who they are. But I just, it was hard. It was a very hard road that I took to get rid of everybody out of my life. And coming out the psychic closet in 2009, and we are almost 7 years later, and I am still having to talk to you about this, tells you that how much of a struggle it can be to come into your own spiritual truth and walk that path, and be careful of the energies that you let in your space while you walk your path. Think of toxic people and toxic energy as stop signs and red lights. Okay, you're walking on your path, you're happy, you're skipping, you're getting closer to where I want to be, girl, and then stoplight. How long is that stoplight going to sit there before it turns green? I don't know. That's up to you. You know, if somebody comes in your life and you feel like they're putting a hold on your life and you're having to stop everything to take care of that person and you can't even take care of yourself, this is probably something you're going to want to reconsider quickly. Now, I'm not talking about having kids because y'all know we got to take care of our kids. You know, that comes first for me. I know the whole put the mask on yourself, then your child. And as a mother, we all know, you know, I'm going to put that mask on my child, girl. You already know I am, you know. So, except for kids, when I say other people, I mean like boyfriends, friends, strangers, people who need help. You know, look. I have this one friend. People have her telephone number, and she's a psychic, and people have her telephone number. And she'll sit there and they can call her, and she will talk to them. And then they will promise to send her some money. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? That's all I want to know is, are you crazy? Ain't no way. Unless it's a really good friend or somebody that does the same for me, ain't no way. You know, I don't care if you sent me, no, girl, what? But here's the problem we have. Spiritual beings, humanitarians, humans, they'll do that. They'll put their whole life and their needs on hold because you need them. How many times have I told you that when I start classes, the very first question I ask people is, Why do you think you're here? What do you think you're here to do? And 99% of the time they'll say to help people, and I'll just go, oh, because that is not anybody's. Oh God, please make this completely clear. Nobody's purpose is to come here and help others. Your purpose is to help yourself get where you're supposed to be and let that inspire others, or choose that to help others. But you can't sit there and say, I've been helping people my whole life. Well, girl, you must be successful. No, I work 8 hours a day at the grocery store, and then I come home to an abusive husband, then my kids get on my nerves, and then I got to start my readings, and I'm just going, wait, what? Because you have to really think, what? That's why you're here? I don't get it. Okay, so your main purpose is to get yourself where you need to be. Now, if you can look at me and say, T, my life is wonderful. I have so much knowledge to give. I feel successful. I feel like I'm right where I need to be. Then I'll be like, girl, now you're ready. If you want to help others, help every single person you can find. Good for you. Good for you. But if you're not in a place where you've helped yourself and you've gotten yourself where you need to be, how are you going to help her? You can't even help yourself, but you're trying to help her. How does that work? How does that work? I don't get it, so you can't do that. So your number one answer cannot be, I'm here to help others. I'm here to fulfill my purpose, walk my path, and achieve my goals. And when I get there, I want to take the love and knowledge that I have and extend that to others. That's what you do. Or you might not want to help others at all. And you might want to say, I hope that what I do and the videos that I do and the shows that I do inspire others to want to take action in their own lives. Well, good for you, girl. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Now that would make sense. But you can't help people if you can't even help yourself. So you have to be, call it selfish if you want, but you have to put yourself first. You have to make sure that you're okay. Your kids are okay. Your bills are okay. What you're doing is okay before you can even start doing anything for anybody else. Now, I'm not talking about doing psychic readings, because sure, you're helping people, but that's your career. That's your job. They're paying you. That's part of your success story. I'm talking about, like, my friend letting people call her, and she just, for an hour and a half, and I'm like, are you still talking to that person? Girl, you must have made a fortune. No, they didn't pay me nothing, and I want to slap somebody. That's what I'm talking about. That's you doing for everybody and not knowing how to say no. N-O, no. I'm talking friends, family. Learn how to say no. Learn how to say no. These people might need you, but it's because their own lives are broken. Their lives are broken. So what do? They go to the very first person that they think can help them get back to where they need to be. And then as soon as you get them back to where you need to be, they're off on their own little thing, and you're standing there in a paused situation because you done stopped on your path. You done stopped everything you're doing. Now you've done made their life right, and they went that way, and you're still standing here. Now what? Do you start where you left off? Do you have to start back over? I mean, so what I always tell people is, it's okay to help somebody if you're in a situation to help somebody. If you're not in a situation to help somebody, learn to say no. If giving this person your bill money, so because you think that they need it for their bills, but you getting ready to get your lights cut off, so you're going to be in the dark so they can have light. What? This is what I'm talking about. You say it's with love and compassion, but really you're being hurtful to yourself. You're being hurtful to yourself. Sometimes when we help other people, we hurt ourselves. So you have to reverse that. We have to help ourselves until we're able to help somebody else. Now it means something. Now it's not harmful to us. Now we've done something that we were able to do without us getting our lights cut off, or without us feeling like we've been defeated, or we've been broken, hurt, and left behind. Get yourself to where you need to be, and then extend help out to other people. And if you don't want to extend help out to other people, do something inspirational that will inspire others to help themselves. Again, you're helping people without actually physically helping people. Do inspirational videos, do inspirational blogs, inspire other people. You can help them that way. But again, you have to get to that point, that level of helping yourself before you can do that for somebody else. And I always say, I have got to practice what I preach. And I said that for years until finally one day I just started practicing what I preached. And it really does make a difference. It really, really does make a difference. So, okay, so let's get away from the whole people. Let's go into the energy and item situation. So what if you're already a hermit? What if you're like, T, I take care of myself now. I'm not a selfish person, but I do make sure my needs are met, but I still have negativity coming at me. Okay, let's look at the energy around you. Let me give you, for instance, I went to Walmart today. Oh, God. I am still calming down from that, okay? When I go into Walmart, I can't even say it without losing my damn mind. But when I go into that place, there are so many people. It is so crowded that I take on the energy of everybody. I had my crystal on. You see my crystal? You see I wore this. Okay, I had my bracelets on. You see them. You see them on. I had my ring on. I know you see that. And I still get attacked. Okay? When you're hypersensitive, you will get attacked. Things will affect you. So what do? I come home and I cleanse. I stand in the room while the sage is going. I get out my crystals, I rub them, and I shake that energy off. Get it off. And tonight, I'll probably take me a pink Himalayan sea salt bath, because I'm going to get all that off of me. And then, so if you don't have to go into a situation like that, don't. But if you have to, do that. Cleanse yourself that night. Don't go for days and days and you haven't done no saging after all that nonsense. Another thing, let's go to your house. What does your house look like? Is it full of clutter? Are there boxes on the floor that still need gone through? Are there things in the attic that you're never going to use? You got 2 Christmas trees. I mean, look at your closet. Do you got clothes in there that you haven't worn for 2-3 years? Let's get rid of this stuff and let's give it to somebody that gives it to somebody else for free. Churches, charities, women's homes for pregnant women or mothers with children with no place to live. Give it to them for free. Pay it forward. Get that going. Allow that karma to come back to you in a good way, So clear out the clutter out of your closets, out of your life, out of your office, your workspace. Clear it out. Get rid of toxic people, toxic energy, and toxic things. And start standing in your truth. Bye, everybody.